And we're live.
Welcome back to the Valiant podcast. I am one of your couple hosts here, Slapshot.
Blackbeard.
Crossfire's here.
Raptor.
And welcome back. So, who wants to throw off the good news, the new news?
You do it, dude.
So we are broadcasting from the new Valiant studio. It's nice.
It's very nice.
It's very nice. We are, I think the intent here is to do videos.
Yeah, with the current setup that we have now, I think it would be very good to maybe start doing videos and stuff like that.
We'll look
for
at
the podcast.
We'll look into that. Maybe that could be next show, possibly.
Potentially.
Some ideas for that. We could run some stuff. So
Yummy.
we'll get that rolling. But as usual, I'd say let's start off with our links. You want to roll it? Yeah, good.
So if you're listening to us now, currently you're listening to us on YouTube. You probably already know where we're at, but it is youtube.com/WeValiantFew.
youtube.wevaliantfew.com. If you go to the YouTube one, it says / a bunch of numbers because we don't have enough subscribers, which you should subscribe, to change the address yet.
Okay. Well, there's that. And we also have our Instagram at WeValiantFew. And we'll probably be posting some pictures of the current setup now. It's much cleaner, much nicer. It's not on a foldy table anymore in our friend's basement.
Yeah, it's an actual dedicated studio.
Yes, it's very nice.
It's very nice. At WeValiantFew for that.
Yep.
All of those will be aggregated on our website at WeValiantFew.com. Still under construction. I haven't had time to do it yet, so we'll get.
And we all have jobs. We all have lives to consider.
Yes. So we'll get to it, and when we get to it, it'll be great. So this episode is one of our real talks. This segment we do the second Thursday. I always say Tuesday. Second Thursday of every month, and this is an unscripted episode where we just off the cuff talk about basically whatever.
Yes. Not to say that our other podcasts are scripted, but we have like a, I guess, general guideline.
We're
of
talking
what we're doing.
points. Yeah.
And then, but we're kind of just going to talk about whatever we want, whatever's been going on throughout the week that we feel is necessary to bring up, something that's beneficial to you guys, stuff that maybe we've went through, whatever.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. So, if you like what we're doing, make sure you share this out. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your family's friends, as always. So, where do we start?
Where do we start? Well, we could start in a couple places.
Hey, you said you had some topics in our group message earlier, so I want to hear what you got.
I do have some topics.
Wait, do you want to start with news first before we get into any specific topics?
We can talk about some news. Yeah.
That kind of is probably gonna flow into some of the topics.
Yeah. I'll start off with news as we normally do, anyway. So, as of recently, very recently, like today actually, the commenting opened on the ATF's most recent.
All right.
Call it gun control.
No, it's not a bill
sorry.
Because they can't legislate, but it's their new definitions of what an assault rifle is or what an SBR is and blah 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 blah.
They're going after the braces again.
Yeah, they're going after braces again. They set up this this document that basically has a bunch of features that a rifle may or may not have, and the way that this works is each feature that you have for your rifle gets added up to points. And once you hit a certain point number, your rifle is no longer a rifle, it is an SBR. Now, to me, this sounds like the most arbitrary bullcrap that I have ever heard in my entire life.
That's pretty.
It's because it is.
That's pretty high up there.
You're basically
tyranny.
I'd actually like if we pulled up this list.
Yeah, we can do that.
But there's stuff on there like weight and weight for stuff.
Weight.
How much
you add weight? You got an SBR.
And it's basically all designed to prevent two-handed firing of a pistol, in quotes.
Was it ATF scorecard is what it is?
Yes, probably
that one.
Proposed brace rules.
Okay, so wait, how does this weight thing work? Because I could have a 16-inch length AR and skeletonize the entire thing, and it could weigh as much as.
Well, they kind of prevent that as well. And once we actually pull up the points that they want to regulate, then we can actually talk about it. But the commenting is out if you...
Is it this?
Yeah.
Yeah, here we go.
Yes.
Oh, that's pretty
So
nice.
now the way that I like to look at this point card is how many points can I actually get?
What is this, grade school?
Can I
Oh,
max-
I got a freaking
Oh, is this
report card.
This is specifically for pistols and
Flint Glock.
revolvers.
Okay, so we're gonna do this for the flintlock.
Okay. So
Model. We're gonna call this the FU 2021. Okay.
Nice.
Nice.
So if we
okay.
go down the list here, we've got these are the things that they want to regulate and add point values to.
Yeah,
So
flintlock's definitely over.
yeah,
that.
1 point is attributed to the overall
it's
length.
not.
You get a point for basically anything over 6 inches. You get a
For
point.
each quarter. Okay, so this is like 4 because I think it's 7 inches long. It's not made out of steel
Yeah.
or
the next,
any alloy.
next thing is frame construction because given before I even dive deeper into this stuff is like all of this arbitrary, tiny, minuscule, regulated parts of this. What does this do to prevent crime? What does any of this do to prevent crime?
Insert cricket noises.
Nothing.
Insert
This is
hammer.
literally
We
nothing
need a
but for
soundboard to
control.
Do that. Yeah.
This is for the government and for this federal agency to control what you can and cannot buy in terms of the Second Amendment, which
Oh, this is revolver.
this is a blatant infringement. Regardless,
Okay, yeah. So the first one's overall length for each quarter inch over 6 inches. 1 point per quarter inch.
Before we continue forward, does it say anywhere like with the points, like what so many points means? Like, does
Oh,
it
we'll
say
get-
it at the top,
yeah,
or is it at the
We'll
bottom?
get there. I want it to be a surprise because I don't know.
Okay.
The second one, like Raptor was saying, frame construction. There's 2 options here. The first one is investment cast or forged steel. Second one is being investment cast or forged HTS alloy. So HTS, I'm assuming, is high temperature steel.
yes. So the forged or the investment, what's that? Cast.
Yeah.
Or forged steel is worth 15 points. Investment cast or forged HTS alloy is worth 20 points. Now I don't know what either of I know my barrel is forged steel. I don't know what they're.
It's probably the barrel's probably HTS because it's temperature rated.
Well, then,
Yeah.
my AK isn't a pistol.
No, an AK frame should just be regular steel.
Right. Well, a 16-inch AK.
Right. So
Because this is specifically for pistols, which is why this is like a brace thing as well.
oh, so why don't we do this for the why don't we do it for the Draco?
Yeah.
Because that's technically a pistol, and it's like
Well, you could do that for any AR pistol, like 10.5-inch pistol with a brace, or AR-15 with a brace, or anything like that.
okay. Well, either way. So that's like
7 inches, I think.
The
the whole thing.
is it overall length, not barrel length?
Yeah, overall.
Oh, so like, how long is your AR pistol from front to back? 20?
Well, the barrel itself is 10.5,
Yeah, okay, then
so it's probably
about 20. Okay, so for each quarter inch over 6 inches, so you're looking 14 extra inches, times 4.
Yeah, so I'm already losing here.
That's 70. So you got okay.
Oh,
So
no.
for that, you got 72 points.
Oh man, we're setting
Um,
ourselves up for
for each
success.
Oh, gee, that
Yeah.
jumps up fast.
Okay, and I think the frame is on the frame. I believe it's just forged steel. I
Yeah.
don't think it's high temperature steel.
Yes.
That would make sense.
So we'll dump 0 in for this just so that we know we did it. Weapon weight with magazine unloaded per ounce.
Per ounce. Each ounce is worth a point.
Yeah, so what is it unloaded? Is it about 6 pounds?
Probably somewhere in there, yeah.
Okay.
We'll call it 6. That's probably fair.
Okay,
Six,
so
I would say probably. It's probably closer to 7. If I'm
Okay,
being
so you want to
honest.
do 7. 7 times 16 is 100 and what? 100 and
Oh, God,
2, right?
I'm
Wait.
stupid.
Hold on, wait. 111 times that across.
Math not strong point.
16 times 7.
Come on, big brain.
No, I can do this.
Big brain.
We're looking at 128 plus.
It's 112.
112 points there.
Damn it!
Man,
I had to subtract
I'm
one.
maxing
I'm
out.
sorry.
Okay, so
this pointer.
112 for that.
Caliber.
Caliber.
I over.
So-
It's over 9 millimeter.
Actually, it's
No, that it doesn't count.
Don't get
for
any
those.
points for that.
It's technically over 9 millimeter.
Yeah.
okay.
was
So
gonna
that's
say,
it.
you can say
Okay, so the
22.
caliber here says 22 short and 25 auto, or is 0 points. So it's 0. 22 long rifle, Oh, 22 short.
What is? Oh
Who
my
even has
God.
22
I
short?
was gonna say, what is that?
I have a
That-
break action Stevens 22 short, and
Well, 22 short is typically like for trapping and whatnot. Like that's
The caliber is basically unusable
it's
for
a near-
any legitimate purpose.
it's like an extinct caliber.
yeah.
Is it good for like shooting
No.
at someone and just pissing them off?
So what? So the
It's-
break action Stevens I have is like really old, and it was a parlor gun, like you would shoot in your parlor, because that used to be a sport. That's seriously what it is, and it's low enough caliber that if you missed the target, it really wouldn't go through the wall. It would just stop at the plaster.
Sick. All right.
Oh, this next this next group of points are all safety features. So they're giving you points for having safety features.
Hold on, let me read. Let me finish the caliber one.
Okay.
22 short and 25 auto 0. 22 long rifle and 7.65 millimeter to 380 autos worth 3 points. 9 millimeter parabellum and over is 10 points.
What is 7.65 millimeter?
That is I think Tokarev, and I think Walther PPKs. Are they that caliber? Something like that. Something in that range. Anyways, and then 380 auto, which I had a 380. I don't anymore. And I would always tell people that if I carried that gun, I would throw it at the person so they try to shoot me with it because it was so useless.
Yeah, 380 is not a great caliber.
No.
If you're carrying, you should probably be carrying 9 mm.
9, yeah.
I was gonna say my dad's Walther PPK is actually 9.
He's a 9-1. Nice.
They make that in 380 as well. I don't know if they
most
make that in
most of them
7.65.
are 380s.
Yeah.
Okay, getting to safety features. Locking breech mechanism, which
It does have that.
it has the rotating bolt head. So, wait, do you add points if it has that?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, loaded chamber indicator.
Does not
It
have
does
that.
not have that on an AR. A grip safety.
Nope.
No, it does not have that.
Yes, it does. That's technically a grip safety.
What?
A grip safety is like a beaver tail.
Oh.
Where you have to squeeze like a 1911.
Okay.
That's a grip safety.
Yep.
Magazine safety. It does not. So that way, if your magazine's removed, it won't shoot.
Right.
I don't look at the bottom.
I'm already looking at the bottom.
Firing pin block or lock.
No.
Technically, no. I don't think it does.
It wouldn't.
Because I think that's like for striker fired pistols. I think is what that's more so leaning towards.
Yeah.
I'm gonna assume that. So loaded breech mechanism
Why are
gets
they
you
giving
5
points
points.
to safety features.
That's a great question, huh?
I really like. This makes no sense.
Locked breech mechanisms 5. Loaded chamber indicators 5. Grip safety is 3. Magazine safety is 5. And firing pin block or lock is 10. Miscellaneous equipment. External hammer worth 2 points. It does not.
Imagine
Unless-
an AR. I'm trying to think of an AR with an
A
external.
double action. It's not technically double action.
No.
It's
It's not.
It's semi-automatic.
it's not
full
semi-automatic.
semi-automatic.
Drift adjustable target sight.
Yes.
Yes.
I would say yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
Drift,
it, and that means like adjustable sights.
Oh.
yeah. So that's worth 5 points.
What does that have to fucking do
Click
with anything?
adjustable target sight. Does yours have that or not? I know some do.
What
Some
is
like
click?
click.
That's on the red dots. If you put a red dot on it, you're adding points basically.
Or like the flip
yeah.
sight. Sometimes those click.
Yeah.
So
Oh, like the AKs, yeah.
yeah.
Those
So,
ones.
some do, some don't. But we'll say yes for the red dot because it actually does click.
What is a target? grip?
Target grip.
I don't know what that is.
Would be like this. That I believe so. Like
Stippled?
Target grip, I think that would mean like a foregrip.
maybe like a foregrip. Yeah.
Sure, we'll call it
Maybe,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, because
Does your
that's
does your
enhancing.
I can't remember. Do you have a foregrip on the
I
pistol?
have an angled.
Okay, well
foregrip.
then what's a target trigger?
That's-
Like a competition trigger.
That's a.
You didn't do any trigger work, did you?
No.
I didn't think so.
I only run mil-spec triggers.
So what is the qualifying score mean? Does that mean
That is
Their
what
form doesn't-
qualifies your thing as a pistol.
it
Otherwise, it is
doesn't
an
e-
SBR.
It doesn't even tell you.
Wait.
Well,
Well, I maxed it out on the length. Nearly.
okay. So let's just do this math here. 72 plus 15, since their form doesn't work, plus 112 plus 10 plus 5 plus.
Doesn't matter. He's over 75.
It doesn't matter.
Oh, I'm way over 75.
5.
But I'm maxing out. If you guys,
Plus-
let me know in the comments if you guys can get a higher score than me. I'd really enjoy knowing. 234.
So you are.
So I am 234 out of 75. That is for my AR pistol, my 10.5-inch, very cheap Mark 18 clone.
So does that mean that you have an AR pistol or an SBR?
That means I have an SBR, and I will go to felony jail forever.
Felony jail.
That's the worst.
Take me to butt
You
fuck
are
me in the
literally
ass prison.
And that's
3
anyone.
points
That's
off just in the length.
I did, yeah. And that's the thing,
weight alone.
What the hell?
Yeah, the weight alone and the length, both. And this whole form, this whole thing is to prevent people from having short-barreled pistols,
Rifle caliber pistols. Yeah. So you know what that
What
means,
in the
right? Since
fuck?
weight's the biggest thing, that means that we just need to make it lighter, and not just lighter, but like a lot lighter, like
Skeleton.
3 ounces.
Titanium.
No lighter than that.
Well, I don't know if we can do that.
Skeletonized titanium
Well,
that's
that
3D
would have
printed.
that would have to be it.
Oh boy.
So now we're gonna start seeing
Man,
this.
can you imagine that? That would be fantastic. Just like
And let me tell you right now, please, 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 if you're listening to this at any point and the comments are still open on this ATF commenting thing, let me actually pull up I dropped something. Let me pull up the link here. But you can go to, it's a .gov website, and comment on this whole debacle.
Yeah, if you do follow any other gun channel YouTubers such as Brandon Herrera, I'm sure Kentucky Ballistics might do something on it, but they'll probably talk about this and suggest that you guys like go out and like actually like comment on this forum here to try to like prevent them from doing this. Just kind of speak your opinion on it so that
Talk
they
to your
don't.
local
It's on-
representatives about it.
Well, also talk to your local representatives
also
about
helps, too.
Dave Chipman and
Yeah.
making sure that he doesn't get his spot on the ATF as the
yeah, you
ATF
should
director.
talk about your extreme hate for him.
But
But this open commenting thing is for people to express their opinion to the ATF on why they shouldn't do
and this is a formal comment. This isn't
Yes,
just
this
like
is not just a
Yeah, you're not shit posting.
yeah,
Right.
this isn't a shit post. This is
Like-
a formal comment. Like give legitimate reasons why this is
Yeah, be
stupid
professional.
and yeah, basically just be professional. But the website is www.federalregister.gov. You'll find the link path to this commenting section through there. And I'll say it again, it's www.federalregister.gov.
and every comment helps, believe it or not. It's
Yeah,
just,
but you also have to give your name and your zip code just so you are aware. But yeah, it's probably in the current issue area of that.
ATF
Yeah, there it
explosive.
is.
Explosive.
it's the second one on their website. But yes, go on there, comment, do something professional, use some like I quoted a lot of the stuff that we've said in previous podcasts here, talking about like the whole
There you go,
reason the
submit it.
Second Amendment exists, and this is an arbitrary rule made by a federal agency that does not have any legislative power.
Here, we'll dump that in the live chat.
it makes it even easier.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Yeah, we dumped that in the live chat, and we'll also, if you are listening to this after the fact, we will throw this in the description.
Yes.
This issue is open until September 8th, 2021. So
So we got a lot of time, so make your moves.
I'm about to go buy more pseudonyms than I've ever went before.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
But yeah, and also just some more gun news. Dave Chipman, I think we might have talked about him last week, but he's basically on. He's set to become the new ATF director. Please talk. It is going to be up to a vote in the House of Representatives. Please talk to your. Is it representatives or senators?
I
I think
don't.
it's senators.
I don't know who's confirming that one.
Regardless,
I think it's Senate. He's in he's
Yeah.
in the Senate right now.
yes.
I
So
would-
call your senator in your local area. Call, email, text, whatever
Show
way
up.
of doing it, and let them know that you do not want Dave Chipman as the director of the
Come on,
ATF.
Waco boy.
Yeah,
Waco.
He's not a good dude, and he is definitely no friend of the Second Amendment.
Yeah, definitely
That
not.
makes him not a friend of the Constitution,
Yep.
Which is not cool.
which makes him not a friend of America.
Which makes him not a friend of ours. That's a requirement.
Come on, Chipman.
Anyways, so does anyone else have any current events that they'd like to talk about? Is there anything?
I know a lot of states are talking about constitutional carry.
Texas is working on that one right now.
Texas passed it.
Please.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
Yep.
Good.
Sweet.
A bunch of other states are doing it. Some states have it proposed but aren't going to go through because of Rhino Republicans and some other people.
It's very
Shills.
disappointing.
Yeah.
Shill, yeah.
I got one in California news from.
Oh, yeah, I heard this too.
I know where this is going.
Yeah. So,
Let's hit it.
U.S. District Judge, Roger Benitez, I think is that his name?
Yeah,
Yes.
something like that.
Yeah.
He was seeking to reverse the
Assault weapons.
3-decade ban
It's-
on assault weapons
Yeah.
in California, and as of today, California appeals the judge's ruling that overturned the state's assault weapon ban.
Yes, which also allow so just for some clarification, if you don't live in California, there you can still get AR-15s and stuff, but they're
Mag restrictions.
they've got you basically have to open the gun, and in the sense of remove the top, the upper receiver from the lower receiver to reload it. They also have magazine capacity restrictions.
At
They
10
also
rounds.
have they have to have a thin grip where you can't wrap your whole thumb around the grip of
Pistol
the
grips are no bueno.
pistol grip. Can't have a foregrip. They're very stripped down, highly unusable things. But yes, a judge in California recently said no, that's not constitutional. And now the governor of California, whatever his name is,
Gavin Newsom.
yeah, Gavin Newsom, he's
moving to
he's
appeal
moving
it.
to appeal
As
it.
along with several senators for the California and the Attorney General of California are all trying to reverse it.
Yeah, the California Attorney General Rob Bonta on Thursday.
He's
today.
probably the one who really pushed for it, because I heard him talking earlier on, I forget where it was at. It was an interview with him, and they were talking about how appalling it is that judge referred to the AR-15 as a Swiss Army knife. They're like, the Swiss Army knives are actually usable. They serve a purpose. I'm like, should I tell her or should?
The most common rifle in American homes today, the AR-15. You're telling me it's not a Swiss Army knife? You're telling me that you can't set it up for basically any purpose that you'd enjoy to use it
It's
for?
the most modular rifle out
Yeah,
there.
it's
you can
designed-
make it for
It was designed to be
everything.
It was
modular.
explicitly designed to be modular. Yeah, that was like the part of the design requirements.
Sompod.
Yeah, oh.
But
This article is from today, like 6 hours ago. California Attorney General Rob Bonta on Thursday filed an appeal to a federal court decision that overturned the state's ban on assault weapons, arguing that the law is needed, quote, to protect the safety of Californians. Who would have thought that weapon restrictions would
yes.
create safety?
Well,
gets
see-
rid of your rights in the name of safety. Where have we? I mean,
This
we've
is
heard this
sounds-
before.
It's for your safety.
It's for your safety.
The appeal seeks to reverse Friday's decision by U.S. District Judge Roger Benitez, who said the state's 3-decade ban on assault weapons is an unconstitutional infringement on the rights of California gun owners that, quote, has had no effect, end quote, on curtailing mass shootings. California Governor Gavin Newsom joined Bonta in making the announcement at Zuckerman's San Francisco General Hospital and Trauma Center, a league facility for treating gunshot victims.
Man, there's still gunshot victims in a place where you can't have assault weapons. I wonder who are these people that are shooting people in the land of no guns?
California's assault. Well, this is a quote from California Governor Gavin Newsom. California's assault weapons ban has saved lives, and we refuse to let these weapons of war back onto our streets.
How do you
Said
quantify
Newsom,
that?
hang on. Who was elected on a platform that included expanding gun control laws? Quote, this is a fight California will never back down from. Period. I just want to ask anyone that lives in California, how many shootings involve any kind of AR platform?
Not even that. Just like the fact that there are still shootings going on in California is just a blatant, and I'm sure there's a lot of shootings that happen in California,
See,
more so than other places.
if you look at the statistics of it, if we and not
Welcome to LA, boys.
I don't have it for just California, but for the United States wide, if you look at firearms-related shootings, period, not just ARs, but like all firearms, you're talking like 20, 30,000 if you take suicides out, because I don't think suicide should be counted as part of gun violence.
That's interesting. I'd really like to put that against what California's numbers are,
What
to see how many of those
are actually
are in California by itself.
Yeah, I'm not sure on that one, but what I'm getting at is like they talk about, it's like, oh yeah, well there's so much gun violence, so many people dying from guns, da 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 da. It's like, okay, that might be true, you know, that 20,000 is a big thing, but they don't talk about the 500,000 to some places report 3 million deaths that are stopped by the use of just brandishing firearms.
Yep.
So
They will neglect to mention that because it doesn't fit the thing.
The narrative.
what I didn't
Common
know
think.
was that 3 decades ago, there was a shooting at Cleveland Elementary School in Stockton that killed 5 children and wounded 29 others using a, quote, assault weapon, I believe it was. So that's why it
what did they classify as an assault weapon?
I don't know.
It doesn't actually say.
It doesn't talk about it.
So it's
It
probably a
just
BB
says
gun.
California was the first state in the nation to ban assault weapons when it acted more than 3 decades ago in the wake of a shooting at that elementary school.
If you look at the percentage per population of injuries committed with firearms, it hasn't changed since the assault weapons ban. It stayed almost exactly the same. You know why? You know what makes up a large portion of firearms-related deaths? What does?
Suicides.
No. Gang violence.
Gang violence. The other one. The other big
all
one.
right, California. If you want to ban these weapons, why don't you get your police out on the street and
No, they're
solve
too
this-
busy defunding them.
Well, fund your police and get them out there and stop this gang violence.
What's it? Chicago alone is 75 gun deaths a week or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Because
Hell,
it's all
And
gang
what are they
related.
using though?
If you look
for
at-
these
so-
gun violence?
Pistols.
Pistols.
Yeah,
There you
pistols.
go.
so what's really interesting is, so I was looking at I just saw some news about some random shooting in Philadelphia, but from one of the people I follow, and they said that something that they enjoy doing is they like to go and like go onto Google Street View and see where these shootings happen, like see what they look like.
How nice the area is.
What the area? Yeah, and this area looks like a third world country. It's basically a rundown slum in like a major city, and that's where these happen. And I'll tell you why these are happening. It's not because it's not because like it's a mass shooting or anything. This is gang violence in a place that is not regulated by police. Is not like that's the problem.
Either police won't go there because they fear for their own lives, or
Yeah, they're probably afraid of it.
well, yeah, like I mean, there's
It's high risk area.
Yeah,
for
and-
regular police to go into. There's some places
and
that they just don't go.
unequipped to handle.
Yeah,
it could be like a Black Hawk Down
Especially like
situation.
cartel stuff. Like if this drug related stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
those people pull out and those people have like crazy like firearms. Like
Not even that, but so this is what I'll tell you the actual problem is. And it has nothing to do with guns. It has everything to do with education.
oh yeah,
Oh,
definitely.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
So this whole the reason people get into gangs and the reason like any of that stuff happens is simply because people are not being educated or they're not being given the tools to have a successful life.
I just want to do hood rat shit with my friends.
Well, hey, people who fight in the streets die in the streets.
Oh,
Live by the street,
truth.
die by the street.
that's how it be, you know.
You fight in the street, you die in the street. That's an army saying. That's a real life saying. Like,
Yes, but like you said, it's the education system's poor, and it always teaches them to be a victim. So it's always, oh man,
especially nowadays.
especially nowadays, yeah. So That's it. Like literally, you have generations of people who their only thing is being taught how to be a victim with no education. And then what other options do they have? Are they going to go to the military?
Well, they feel so. This is also the crazy thing. It's also the fact that so these kids, and this is including my generation, is kids are like told over and over and over and over again, you need to go to college. You need to go to college. College. College degrees don't get you what they got you 40, 50 years ago.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I have 2 degrees, and I actually really do not use either one of them.
And
I went to other stuff.
Yeah, and I'm in a field that I don't need a degree. And I don't have a degree. And the problem is so even the people that can end up affording to go to college, especially in these low income like areas, they don't go to college and they don't get real jobs because they don't pay them enough to survive. So what do? They go to the next best thing that's going to provide for them and maybe their families if that's their like background idea for it, which is crime. They join gangs to get protection for their family or to whatever instead of doing something
Productive.
And they're not told to like get skills or do anything like that.
Get good, bud. Yeah, but that's a serious problem because all that, what all that creates is desperation. You know, in a very large sense, and everything trickles down from that. That's why people do these petty crimes and stuff, or even more extreme stuff, because they do not have other options, or they don't know there's other options.
They don't know there's other options.
Yeah.
They've never been like put on a path that will result in something that isn't crime.
Something normal. Yeah, that's
something that is effectively useful to society rather than being a detriment to themselves and everyone around them.
Yeah, now there's generation upon generation upon generation of this.
Yes.
So what do you do?
Well, and this is also a funny thing because this whole conversation,
This gets really political.
Well, I have purposefully kept the word race out of it because it doesn't matter the race. It's the same effect regardless. But this is actually the main. So whenever people say or use the term systematic racism, is the reason why things the way they are in these low income areas. This is the actual reason. It's the education. It's not systematic racism. Systematic racism is not tangible.
No, and I don't think systematic racism exists personally.
No, it doesn't. It's kind of a cop-out answer to the reasons that
to the real reason.
Yeah, to the real reason. And the actual problem is the lack of education and the lack of support from education facilities or maybe
Peers.
Their peer, like, and on top of that, like, I don't know. Recently, I've been more and more, I would say, like, scared to openly support police because I don't want to be so naive to say that they are always going to protect our rights whenever I see tons and tons of police organizations fighting constitutional carry bills because they get federal money. And it's all about money and power to them because they, like, if the state's not going to, like, I've seen cases of states fining police departments for getting people on, like, constitutional carry or, like, firearm charges, stuff like that. Because those get added on top of whatever else they're getting yelled at for. And now they go to court and they lose and the departments get a ton of money from the federal government and the state government. So... And it's super hard, too, because on one end we say we don't want to defund the police, because if we defund the police, then we're not giving the police the training that they need in order to actually protect people. But at the same time, if the police are getting funded from these, like, things that I personally don't think that they should be funded for, I personally don't think the police should be funded for traffic stops. Like, I don't think the police should get any money for pulling you over.
No, I think they should. I think they should be... I think if they are funded based on doing that kind of stuff, that's inherently a road for corruption.
Yeah, and that's what it is corruption. Like, or for instance, like if you get in a car accident and maybe it was due to weather or whatever, police have to write you a ticket.
I can personally attest to this. I've gotten one ticket written in my entire life, and it was because I wrecked.
Yeah, me too.
Wow.
Yeah.
You guys only got one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I'm a horrible human being.
Yeah, but like, I mean, that's the point. It's like I wrecked in my car. It was, I mean, this is probably a similar situation to you, but like I wrecked my car and I damaged the front drivetrain on a front wheel drive car. And he comes up and he's like, yeah, you know, here's a ticket for parking in the middle of the road. I'm like, my wheel is disconnected from my frame. It's like it's laying over
What
there.
do you want me to
I was
do
like,
about
I was
this?
like, you're welcome to get in and move it. And he just looked at me. I'm like, do
Well,
something about
my
it.
guy literally said, like, you got in a car accident, I have to write you a ticket. So he wrote me a ticket for driving too fast for the conditions, which he wasn't. I called him. I said, hey, I wrecked. I need help. I can't move.
Yeah, see, that's the same. I called them.
Yeah. So I
When
called
you
you to
want
help
the
me
service, you get shit
out. Yeah,
on.
I just
Here's your bill.
here's your bill.
Like,
which I think is
I
ridiculous.
drove 5 minutes to the scene. You have to pay me for
I
it.
had to put down my donuts.
Like these should be
Oof.
police officers should be
Yikes.
like a service to the community,
They
and it's
should.
hard. It's really hard to see that whenever they
Do a
basically
disservice
and
to
the
the
corrupt- and
people
the
that
corruption.
they
yeah,
serve.
and also the corruption of these groups or these police departments and these police heads that are saying or opposing constitutional carry and stuff like that, and that's why I have a hard time saying.
See, the way I've always looked at it is, as a whole, I don't really blindly support the police institution.
Yeah.
I support the officers. So, like, that gives me the right that if an
By
officer is a
character.
good officer, then I support them. If they're a bad officer, I don't support them.
Right.
That gives me the explicit option there. But, like, as a whole, I could be like, well, yeah, hey, that department's doing good. It's like, okay. Or, wow, that department's bad. Like, I think our local department around here is decent.
Yeah.
I don't think they're the best, but I think they're all right. They're better than a lot of other places.
And I also
Better-
think, like, as in general, all police need more training.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
for the longest time, I've been trying to come up with the solution to, okay, so I don't want them to be funded through tickets or, like, citations and stuff like that. But I also understand that they need funding in order to be well-trained and well-equipped to handle whatever
Certain
situations
scenarios.
that they have to handle.
Take money
So-
from the unemployment system.
Well, I mean,
Yikes.
but then whenever you talk about that, then you're talking about raising taxes in order to help pay for them, and we don't necessarily like taxes. So how
We
we do a volunteer? Like how does it work?
If it was a volunteer police force,
Oh,
and I'm
Jesus.
speaking on behalf of like volunteer fire departments, every volunteer fire department I can think of is better than any like unionized fire department.
Well, because it's the people that actually want to do it.
I very firmly believe that.
we
I've yet to
we
see one.
are in terms of dedication and doing
Like they're there
said-
because they want to
said-
be there.
That's
yeah,
exactly
not because
that's
they're
what I
getting a
mean. Like,
paycheck.
but in terms of equipment that is needed,
See,
sometimes like certain departments, depending on your area, don't have the proper equipment to handle certain things. So that's why you get like
Bigger departments
yeah,
for a
you
bigger
get
fire
multiple
or whatever
departments
it
to
is.
come and
Yeah.
go.
Well,
to-
see, there's ways you could go. You could go about that. There could be, that's like that. If it's a volunteer department, maybe that's when the state could step in. And,
Well, that's
and
what
give them some
happens.
equipment.
What? Because I know the fire department that I run with, we get we apply for grants and stuff like that through the state, but it's not, we're not guaranteed that. It's like we
Right.
really have to fight tooth and nail to get
To get
the
the
state to
funding
give us-
that you
to give
need
us-
to get new equipment or whatever it
and,
is
like,
that
we're-
you're
like,
using.
our ladder truck is older than dirt. It is. It's outdated.
Oh, no.
It can't. It's always down.
That's not good.
So we're constantly, borrowing a ladder truck from our fellow departments, just to get by, and it's
I mean, I don't think that whole situation is ideal, which is also why I say I struggle with finding, like, because I can say all this, but I don't have a solution in mind.
I do. You said
is your
about
solution?
taxes. It becomes bigger than just the fire departments, because the reason why taxes are so high is because the government doesn't know how to spend any money at all. So the solution is to, and I know this is never going to happen, for the government to spend the money more wisely, spend less. They can have more of that extra to go where it should go to these services, without raising taxes. That's how it should be. The government should know how to spend money, not just be like, oh, wow, our deficit's going up. Let's tax them more.
Yeah, they
Why
need
is
to
the
be able to-
deficit going up? Oh, you mean giving $30 million away to some country for gender studies isn't a good use of money? What could $30 million do for volunteer fire departments?
Yeah, you need to
Probably
be able to
fund
delegate
every
your
fire department
funds.
in the
That's my
country.
point. That's the solution, is the government itself has to spend the money differently, which, again, is never going to happen.
Yeah, we can
Without some
definitely get-
without some cataclysmic
we should
thing.
we should be able to get by with less, and the money that we do get, that we do pay in taxes, should go to things that give some a service, because the government is a service for the people. It is a service so that like you can do stuff like go to court and settle social disputes without having to utilize violence. It is for so then you can vote for things and stuff like that, and like have representation and like decide things as a country and come together as a country type thing, not as a we are basically subservient pawns that pay our government, which has a different like whole mindset and way of things that they want to do.
A god
A
complex.
god complex.
The
And
Wild West.
that is not why our government was made to exist.
So then that'll create a side conversation with that. Where do you think the god complex started?
Well, I mean, you can see the starts of it. I would say after George Washington.
You think
Yeah.
the
Like, as
problem
soon as-
that we're
as soon
having
as-
now,
Jefferson.
Which problem?
like all this rampant spending, and then no accountability for anything, and people having the second tier of justice. Because I mean, people are like, oh yeah, two justice tiers don't exist. Bullshit. They absolutely do.
Probably somewhere around the same. This is a complete like educated guess. I'll say inference. Probably somewhere where they decided that senators would be elected rather than appointed.
So when was that?
That
I don't know when that
I'm not
was.
entirely sure, but in the Constitution it says senators are to be appointed, not elected. And senators, do senators have term limits?
Term limits?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, so representatives and senators do not have term limits.
Yeah. So some of our senators need to go.
Well,
on
most
both
of our,
sides.
I would say most of our
yeah.
government officials need to go. So that's like the
Get some fresh ideas in
that's
there.
not even that. It's just get these like it. First of all,
Career
career
politicians.
politician should not be a career. You should not be able to be a politician.
You should serve once and then be barred from serving another position,
Yes.
and then you should be barred from lobbying. You should just go up, do your
So-
service.
There's also to talk about like experience is beneficial,
No, you could be involved in it, but afterwards,
like as like an aid for another representative or something.
see
like
something
that.
like that's a bit different than physically lobbying.
Right.
So
But, or maybe I don't know. There's a whole bunch of ways that you can kind of go about talking about it and stuff like that. But that is really where our government is currently failing.
see, I think like if I were to say like getting bad, I would say early 1900s. Like was when it really started to get noticeable.
That's what I would say we all know the most about.
Yeah,
But
well,
because I don't know much about like early 1800s.
That being, leading up
Well,
to
these-
like Great
they-
Depression and everything.
yeah, well, like
Well,
you're saying,
FDR did a number on
FDR.
rights.
People are like, oh, FDR is so great.
No,
No,
he
not
was
really.
not.
FDR basically was, I mean, like I don't know. I mean, like that.
Subpar.
He was not good.
No, not good. I was
Truman
trying.
was worse too.
I'm thinking a way we could explain it. Like
Woodrow Wilson
FDR's
was
Paul.
terrible.
Yeah, Wilson was terrible.
Wilson
God.
was absolutely terrible.
I'm thinking. I would say like some of FDR's policies are, I would say, straight up
Yeah.
communistic. I was trying to think of a way to like not just be like.
Just
But-
throw it straight out
Yeah,
there.
just throw it straight out there. But like some of the policies at the time were communistic, which everybody was like, okay, that's I guess, but because it's not fascism, I mean, because everybody back
Everyone
then
was
was like
afraid of fascism, but also if you look at that time, they were also afraid of the communists. And
Red
if
Scare.
if you pay attention, like Europe during World War II or prior to World War II, prior to Germany invading Poland and stuff like that, they were scared of an alliance between Germany and Russia.
Rightfully so.
Yeah, because like everyone was afraid of the communists.
Ideologies like
Yeah, and everyone was everyone was mad at Germany
What
because
if you had
they kept
communistic Nazis? That'd be bad.
you super Nazi.
Oh God.
Nazi
Insanity.
2.0.
Oh no.
But and in fact, there was a ceasefire for a period of time between Russia and Germany.
Up until Barbarossa.
Yeah. Whenever they invaded Poland.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they invaded
Oh
Poland.
no, until they kind of kept it until they invaded
Yeah,
Russia.
because actually, if you look at it, Germany had already conquered France prior to them attacking Russia.
They did. So
And they couldn't afford to fight both fronts at the same time.
No.
At the time.
They pick and choose their battles.
well, see the thing was what if I remember it was petroleum, right? That's why they needed to do that.
Yeah, they needed the resources from these areas that they were conquering.
Yeah,
To fund their war machine.
literally.
Leech.
I'm going to take your country and turn it into oil for my tanks. And
And it was going well until
there you go.
they hit Stalingrad
Well,
for Russia.
The
But
winter.
Yeah.
Russian winters
I was
aren't
about
that
to
bad.
go
Oh,
full
go for it.
history, on the whole.
Go for it.
Well,
Why not?
I know Germany's tank operations were, their manufacturing was severely depleted.
Near the end of the war, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, not even near the end of the war, because of all the carpet bombing and everything. They had depleted the U.S. forces and everything.
Your factory
Well, I mean,
is
that also-
gone.
Damn near depleted all of them. They had one factory producing tanks, and
And their tanks were expensive, high
yeah.
engineered.
Well, they
Because
were-
the German engineered
they were-
tanks.
Yeah, 'cause
They
the
were
Panzers,
amazing.
Yeah,
They're
Panzers
beautiful.
were amazing.
Yeah,
but they
like-
also took a lot of mechanical.
Oh,
know-how
yeah.
to
Oh,
work on.
they were complex
They were
machines, And then
complex.
you get the Russians that
The
caveman. put it together.
T-34s.
Let's angle
just
this.
yeah, like-
freaking destroyed people.
if the Allied forces would have known this,
And
the war would have been over.
I wonder if they knew about the 45-degree angle thing, or if that was kind of just a random design choice. I don't
German
know.
ingenuity, man.
No, the Russians, the T-34.
Oh, okay.
T-30,
Because
because
the
the
40
T-34 is what basically carried Russia.
Yeah.
The 45-degree armor on the sides
Yeah.
not only increased
Deflection.
the apparent thickness of the armor at flat horizontal hit.
Yeah.
It deflected the bullets. I mean
Yeah.
that literally is the key element that made them work. And I don't know off the top of my head if the Russian engineers knew that or if it was just some random design choice.
It looked cool, so let's go with it.
I mean, the T-34 is one of my favorite tanks of World War
Oh,
II.
the T-34 is great. As far as practicality, I'd say it's
It was the best
it's
tank. of
the
World
best
War II,
tank. Yeah.
easily.
Because I mean, even practicality, it beats the American tanks.
Well, America. So
But
at
there's-
the time, America had really crappy, or not crappy tanks, but they weren't. Basically, the Sherman, which was
They were slow.
There's a big problem with the American tanks.
they couldn't penetrate
Well, and
most.
they couldn't make them over there. They had to
Yeah,
ship
they had
them.
to ship them.
So they're remote manufacturing, which now you
And
it-
one
so-
Sherman couldn't fight a Tiger.
no
No,
way it wasn't
They
rated
were
for it.
outgunned, out armored.
What was
and
what was the
out-
Sherman's
they had
main gun?
No
What was it?
speed.
I
Is it
think it was a-
37?
I think it was a.
I'm gonna look this
It's
up. I'm
less
cu-
than 105.
Oh, it's tiny.
Wait, what?
The Sherman main gun. What was the bore sizing?
It might be. I think it might have been 37.
What would you say Sherman would be? Sherman
It's like M.
4.
Yeah.
M4 Sherman. That's it. Let's see. I'm just curious.
75 millimeter. Where's that? The side gun.
Where do you see that?
Scroll up. Main 75 millimeter
75.
gun.
Oh, that's a lot more than I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah,
Actually,
I mean it was still a decently sized thing, but it wasn't
Yeah,
like a
but-
105 millimeter, which would be
And if
considered
you
a
look at
tank
the-
destroyer.
And if you look at the barrel on that thing versus some
Like a
of
Tiger.
yeah,
these things are very cool.
outgunned in almost every shape and form.
I don't know how we got
88 millimeter.
like the flak 88s. Like an
It looks
88,
so
the flak
majestic.
88s would tear through American and
And
That-
you
that-
only need one.
The
You only need
88s,
one.
the 88s were the only thing that could get through or T-34 armor.
Yeah, but there weren't that many of these made. There
No,
was
there
like
weren't that many
1,300
Tigers.
made.
Yeah.
And then I think there was a Tiger 2, wasn't it? Didn't they make one? But like, yeah, here we go. Tiger 1 phased off with the Tiger 2, which again there was only, so let's say 489.
Yeah.
And that had a,
But the Germans also had a ton of like stationary flak 88s.
yeah,
Yeah, they had a lot of them on like,
As, like-
rail guns and everything.
Yeah.
8.8 again, another.
Well, this is definitely a real talk episode because
Well,
we went from gun control to World War
Well,
II history.
Dude,
We're talking
I
about-
love World War
we're
II,
talking
man.
about
That's
ta-
my jam.
We should do an episode just on World War II.
Oh yeah,
We should
I'd
do
be
an
very down
episode
for
on
that.
every single war.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
Season 4 question mark?
We would have to. I mean, we would definitely all have to do a good bit of research. for
Well, I
that.
know.
I mean, World War II, I'm down. Like, I got all kinds of.
You kidding me?
Well,
I'm
we
gonna
could-
talk about Leonidas.
we could. Oh,
Jesus.
That's not.
that's cool.
We could talk about any war.
World War II, we'd have to split up in a couple episodes. Maybe like the fronts.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Let us know in the
Bois-Jacques.
comments what you think about that. I think that's a great idea.
The Bois-Jacques boys.
Well, if we're gonna do that, then we should step off of that topic there for a
All right,
second.
all right, that's fine.
Write that down so we don't forget.
Some other things.
Oh, hang on, I got it.
Some other stuff
I'm
that
here. You son of a-
I've been wanting to talk about a little bit is just talk about a little bit of our like current training, what we're doing individually, what we're doing as a group type stuff to like get better and the stuff that we've preached prior in like season 2 and season 3, or we are in season 3,
Well-
mostly season 2. So
I know me and you've been hitting this hard.
yeah. So I mean, the one thing was airsoft. We've been doing that a lot to work on our like team dynamics and stuff. So the thing about airsoft, if you haven't tried it, so most of the time with airsoft, there's either indoor or outdoor fields. Now, depending on the size of the outdoor field, I would say you could probably get more done on an outdoor field, and maybe if there was like more buildings and more of a dynamic area instead of like kind of just like open woods.
Yeah, your open woods are, pretty much your weapon mechanics.
Well, weapon mechanics a little
Communication.
bit of function, and depending on how wide of an area you
Yeah.
have. So for where we go, how like I would say, is it like an acre across?
Yeah, I would say an acre across and 4 length.
4 deep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would say ballpark.
So there's not really a whole lot of room for maneuvering.
you got a Call of Duty map, 3 lanes.
Yeah, you've got 3 lanes, and kind of as the game goes, there's a few things that are apparent. Number 1, the more aggressive team always wins. Mm-hmm. Like not in pushing and
It's the-
just more.
I think it's the willingness to put yourself out there. Whoever's willing to take the more risky move for the sake of
and that-
doing it.
Yep.
Well, there's no literal risk in that.
Yeah,
Like,
there's no repercussions for
Oh, I got hit with a
The
BB. I'll
repercussion
die.
is you getting hit with a BB.
Yeah,
But if you make it through there, then you're able to.
you change
Now-
the dynamic of the
Yes.
battlefield
Now what?
tremendously.
Now what if it is like if you get hit, you're out for the rest of the day. Now the game. Would,
well,
That'd be
see,
extreme.
yeah, the game would
I
change a
do
lot.
try whenever we play.
You die.
I value that life that I do have.
Yeah.
Like I try
you
and make
should,
a
yeah.
very methodical,
Try not to
moves.
be YOLO crazy all the
Yeah,
time.
no,
first
like
thing,
I try
You're
and
sitting there
make
for- you're sitting there-
very.
especially whenever you're wearing kit and you have to
Yeah,
walk
well,
all
I
the
try
way
and-
You're sitting there and you're like really carefully planning this out, and this dude just like flies around the corner with dual green gas Mac 11s, just blasts. Yeah.
Well,
It happens.
I take a very tactical approach to everything. Like and there's times where I find myself just kind of like almost sitting back a little bit and sort of developing the field and seeing where I can visually see weak points or lanes of
Like where
opportunity.
we might need, we might need to bolster some strength.
Yeah,
into-
exactly. So I try and develop the battlefield.
You said you're
into a
developing
s-
strategy, yeah.
Yeah, like I sit. It's like one of those turn-based
Yeah.
games where you kind of you see where everybody's at and then you just make moves accordingly. And I think the last game that we went to, I think that really showed
Yeah.
where we were able to really push people to follow us.
Yeah, because for some reference, the last game that we did, It was like a 5-hour thing, and it was red team versus blue team with various objectives and stuff like that. Well, we were on the blue team at first, and we were absolutely
Rolling.
demolishing
we were
the other
rolling.
team.
We
And-
had them
and-
spawn trapped.
Like every game, we had them spawn trapped, and most of the time there's like 4 or 5 games.
It was
each
the
day.
first two.
Yeah.
The
5
first 2 games, yeah, we were on blue.
Yeah, we
Yes.
were on blue. We had them spawn trapped, and after that, I've made a call over the radio, like as we were spawn trapping them, just like, can we switch to red team after this? We're just like,
Because it wasn't
yeah,
even fun.
why not?
No,
it
it
really
wasn't
wasn't.
fun.
It wasn't a challenge. It wasn't fun for either side. You know, at least from my opinion, it really
It's not
wa-
fun to me because at that point a front is basically created because you can't push anymore.
Yeah.
Because if you push into their spawn, then what are you gonna do?
Exactly.
It's just
And-
spawn, bam.
Yeah, and it's not fun for them because they are their
It's
spawn
frustrating.
their spawn is basically right in your range. Like they're at the end of your range. So we can't push up anymore, but we can kind of kill you as you come out.
We go back to the staging area. We all loaded up again. We got our team tapes switched, and as soon as we got to the briefing for the next game, the third game, like that's where everyone meets up. They hear what the scenario is, what the objectives are, such as what flags could be captured, if you have to do anything
It's a
specific.
mission briefing.
Yeah, it's a mission briefing for the entire team. And we get there and we start hyping up the team. We're just like, we're going to stomp these guys this next round. We're going to be super aggressive right off the spawn. Let's go. Like, hyping our teammates up. And we go out there. We fucking killed it that third game.
Follow me. Follow me.
Yep. So basically, all it took was a bit of leadership and motivation to change the tide of this airsoft battle, and that's also where. So even just that little bit of motivation and leadership was able to push a otherwise losing team into being the winning team.
And we did win.
It
Yeah.
only took 4 guys.
And yeah, that's all it took was 4 guys that were
A
motivated.
little bit
that,
of
like,
organization and somebody to give you a little bit direction.
Yeah.
You know, then
and you'll find that
we slaughtered them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you'll
whenever-
find that a lot in airsoft at airsoft fields, and airsoft in general, and maybe like not so much milsim because milsim is a lot more organized. But like your regular like show up and play airsoft events, most of the time like people are just showing up whatever, they've got their groups and they kind of don't
Every
like
man for
intermitting.
themselves
Yeah,
sort of thing.
like they do their own thing. They don't really. They just kind of they try to get kills and have a good time type thing, and that's all fine and dandy. It's a game primarily. Now, if you want to take it a bit more seriously, and why I say that like the field that we particularly go to in general, because of the size constrictions, it really makes it difficult to implement like any
Real strategy.
realistic tactical like stuff.
It is. It does make it really difficult. But, I mean, if you can get a plan together, that's, I guess, half the battle. But it's just more so the way the layout is, it kind of prevents any kind of real tactical movement.
Well, that's why you have milsim events then,
Right.
to fill that void.
Right. But also, and this is why I prefer, and I think Airsoft does this better, is indoor or like mount, close quarters, Battle Drill 6, like room clearance stuff. Because the beauty of room clearing is the fact that each room is different. So if you could have what's like a decent, maybe not decent, like a semi small size building that you could still put like a bunch of plywood rooms into.
Like what size? Like what, if you like? What do you mean? Like if you
Maybe
were
like
gonna create?
a
If you're gonna create an airsoft, 5,000 square feet.
Okay,
yeah,
so
I was gonna say
we'll
A
take-
warehouse.
between.
Well,
a
is
small
that
warehouse.
huge or is that I want like
I'm gonna say
okay,
anywhere.
just
so-
big enough area?
Okay, so above. Okay, I'll use above the store.
yeah, if you want to use it above the store is perfect.
7,000 square feet.
Okay,
That's how big that
you
room
could
is.
fit. I would say if you lined them, depending on how many rooms, if you put them end to end, like all the way back and
with
deep.
different shapes and
With
everything.
different
Oh
shapes
my
and
god,
sizes.
that
20.
I would,
yeah.
at
I mean,
least
Possibilities are pretty endless.
being conservative on it and actually making them instead of just stack
Yeah.
the whole way, making it like a town. You probably
like
do 20.
kind of like a kill house type
Yeah,
situation
yeah,
where you've got like
Yeah, you
maybe a main street
Yeah, you
and
could do-
like you got houses or like kind of like Fallujah type buildings and
Yeah, you could probably
different
do 20.
areas. So something like that where, and not, so there are indoor fields around where we are, but they are
Poo.
garbage in my opinion. They're basically geared towards kids. There's a lot of like super long open sight lines. You really can't get any like real like indoor actual room
I'm
clearing
not gonna
and like
pie this door.
yeah, that stuff. Like it's just not there. But there used to be a place here that you could do that, and it was great. But if I would like to see more fields popping up that are like in warehouses or like buildings like that, and with real mount training, because not only does that help, like it allows, so we're expanding the sport of airsoft, but also it may or may not, because I know the place that we used to go to, they also got certified as a police training facility, so they could get income from other places.
Yeah, well, that would be the thing. If you want to do that, that would differentiate you from just being a random airsoft place to actually being like a legitimate training facility.
They also offer training too. Now that I think of it,
see, that would be cool. And it's like, it's just a matter of doing it.
yeah, and that stuff allows you to get a lot more communication, a lot more technical in the skills, and especially. It definitely highlights the effective range of airsoft BBs, because I mean you can build stuff out that costs a lot of money to like make an airsoft gun shoot like I would say 200 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Something,
Jesus.
or not 200 yards. No,
Jesus,
that's
I thought you were going
no,
somewhere.
I would 200.
200 feet, I would say.
200, yeah.
Because like I mean, I used to. This is you guys know what I used to do with airsoft. I mean, that's decent.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to go any further than that.
Right. But 200 feet, like I would say, that's a pretty high-end gun that's got some work done to it.
I would agree.
Now, whereas you can just, if you go to the store, you get any airsoft gun, you can run it in an indoor environment with
And it's gonna be
relatively
sufficient.
short. Like there may be long sight lines in that indoor environment, but play to your
It's still
strength.
You'd probably want to put a couple long sight lines just to mix
yeah,
it up.
of course, just to mix it up and make it a bit more realistic. Because if you just make a 7,000 square foot building
Of
deep
20 foot.
deep of rooms, that would be a little intense. In my opinion.
Another
It'd be
thing I
cool,
think
though.
that it improves, it slows the game down a little bit.
Yeah.
It'll make you and your team work as a team and make you make more tactically sound moves.
Right, and it allows you to employ the three basically pinnacles of CQB, which are speed, surprise, and violence of action. And that lets you better implement like flashbangs or like the airsoft flashbangs and stuff like that, and grenades and like room, like all, I don't know. It's a lot more technical. It's a lot more fun for me personally.
Well, I think anybody that's listening to this would probably agree that that's the sort of action they're kind of looking for.
Right.
Yeah, because there's not so basically we're saying there's not really any tactical advantage to doing it on the field. It just becomes a little
least
game
the field
at that point.
the field we go to, because it comes down to like a front war where there's just a line of your team and a line
That's
of their
just
team,
who
and you're just
can
shooting at
make
each
the
other.
better move. Like
Yeah,
who
like I
can
said,
flank better, who can.
But there's not.
has
It
a
takes
more
it takes
powerful
the.
force.
It's not as valuable as the indoor stuff.
Oh, you're right.
That's
100%.
the point I'm trying to make.
Because you can work the outdoor stuff without firearms in like just walking through the woods in like in a wedge formation or in a line, understanding like where your sectors of fire are and how to react to contact type thing on an outdoor. Like in the airsoft field, you really can't do that, only because you're not going on patrols. It's literally like an all-out war type scenario, and you're all sprinting to these objectives as soon as the game starts. There's no tactical. It's whoever can get there first.
Keep my kickable doors.
Whereas indoor, like one team could like be held up on one side of this like I would like one side of the road, and they're like making their way through. There was this one game mode that it was my favorite thing in the place that I went to. It had 3 different buildings. The very first building that they were in, it basically had. It was not a super wide building, but on either side of the buildings, there were like 2-story buildings, or on the side of the warehouse there were 2-story buildings, and then on the inside there was like rooms, and in the center there was like a long corridor type thing.
Fatal funnel.
Well, it was kind of like a street dividing these two. Like,
Okay, all right.
These town, whatever you want to call them. And I think it was called Gauntlet, the game mode, and it was super cool because so the first team, their job was to get a high value target from their spawn to the enemy spawn. This game had three phases.
So if they completed one phase, they could.
So and
it's
here's
kind
the
of
thing.
like Rush on Battlefield.
Well, so the first phase is so you have to get your high value, your VIP to the enemy spawn. The enemies are they can choose, they're either playing as a unarmed civilian, or they're playing as an armed combatant. Now, they could be both. They could be walking around pretending to be a civilian, and if you bang a civilian, the game's over.
Oh, this is where you gotta pick and choose your targets very.
Right, so you have to. So there, it implements that aspect of
Target acquisition.
of tactical stuff. You have to get your VIP to the position. Then you have to hold the position for I think it was like 9-10 minutes or something after you had made it through there, and then you had to extract them back to your spawn after that through like this. At this point, the civilians were done, and now you had to basically room clear your way back to the spawn. That was my favorite game mode that I had ever played.
That sounds
where was this at?
really.
This was at the original place that we used to go to, but you never went to this building.
Okay.
That sounds like a pretty cool scenario.
It was fun.
Yeah, I know which building.
The
you're
whole
talking about.
idea of a civilian and you can't tank a civilian or else you lose the game.
Yeah.
Like,
Do you
that just-
remember
that
when
gets
we
me going.
did? Was it Trouble in Terrorist Town in Crossfire's? On his property that he had like
That was-
years ago.
That was pretty fun.
That was so cool. We did that at it was like midnight at that point, or like
It wasn't
11
even-
p.m.
It wasn't Trouble in Terrorist Town. It was scenarios.
It was some scenario where
We had a pallet fort in the backyard basically, and we had like different. Sometimes there was like an execution going on. Sometimes there was like a bunch of other stuff.
it was like the sketchiest 3-story pallet fort you could ever think
I'll
of.
have you know that it's still there.
It was held together by straps,
ratchet
straps,
hopes
and
and dreams.
pallets, and hopes and dreams.
And guess what?
It's
It's
still
still there.
And only one wall has fallen over, and that's it.
Yeah, I want
It
to
still
try and
stands?
climb up into that little tower.
Well,
I
yeah.
was in
Now,
that tower,
now,
thank you
now
very
it's been there for 10 years now, so it's
Christ.
starting to rot.
But what we did was we split the teams into two, and it was roughly 6 and 6
whatever.
ish, and one team obviously was the U.S. The other team was
Mother Russia.
no, it was you were either a civilian
Terrorist
or
or a
a
civilian,
terrorist,
yeah.
and the U.S. forces did not know who was who, other than walking up to them
Show me your papers.
holding
Oh,
a rifle
no.
to the side of their mask and being like, "What are you?"
And that's the cool thing that you can that I think Airsoft really shines in using doing that stuff, because like I said, you can work.
You can use your imagination.
The outside tactical stuff.
Yeah, the imagination does
simulator.
help with it, but also yes,
And
outside
because
tactical advantage.
most outside is mostly marksmanship and stuff
Yeah.
like that, whereas inside it requires a lot more technical stuff. It's a lot higher risk.
Yep.
And
And that's where that fort shined for us, was because it gave us some strategy to think of what is our best method of entry.
Well,
to
there was really only one entry.
Okay, well there's a back.
It was for 12 and 13-year-old kids. It was pretty good.
Yeah, it was
I
pretty
can
damn
see you
good.
through this wall.
I mean,
But-
you could.
Of that game mode, we did have one high value target, which I believe we call it just Osama bin Laden, which was one of our friends, on his hands and knees, in the middle of the fort, with a floodlight overhead so that we
Oh,
could
man.
see him.
Wasn't that
We'll call him
I think
the
it was-
book. Wasn't it
No,
a book?
wasn't
No,
book.
it was
That-
not.
That was the combat engineer.
Oh.
He did a real good job at it.
Yeah, I
It was
guess.
hilarious.
And we had to extract him out.
I think I was laughing my ass off the whole time we were doing that.
I remember
too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was good.
I remember you and I, Raptor, snuck up on the left side and snuck up on, I believe it was our redheaded friend.
Yes.
Oh yes.
And we caught him off guard. We were sneaking through the night like ninjas, and we snuck up on him.
the night.
But before, I mean,
Good times.
yeah, it's definitely good times. I don't want to like go into like a super hard nostalgia session.
Yeah, we don't need to.
That could be for post show.
Yeah, but that's some of the training we're doing. The other thing, me and Blackbeard are both getting some physical
Getting
exercise
swole.
in. Yeah, we're
Getting swole, son.
yoked. Going to the gym pretty regularly.
6 days a week.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll be there soon. Catch me there at 1700 hours.
Yoink.
Okay.
I bought a new gun today.
Yeah?
Yeah,
You want to talk about it?
it's right there. See it right there?
I see it.
Touching it.
Yeah.
I'll give some ASMR for the audience. Well, that wasn't it.
Doing.
Oh yeah, we got that.
Lock the slide. And then, for you Grand Thumb lovers, we'll give you a little trigger squeeze if everyone can be quiet here for a second.
We got that too.
Oh, very good. All right, so for
If
everyone that enjoyed that, there you go.
Hey, hold on, we'll do one of those things like, if you've ever liked the crisp trigger pull of a brand new gun, go ahead and hit that like button.
And no, don't even hit that like button. Hit that subscribe
Hit that
button.
subscribe button.
Absolute J-damn that subscribe button.
Nice. But I mean, actually, got a Shadow Systems MR920 War Poet. I got the TLR 7A Flex on it and strobe mode.
I have epilepsy.
Yep, so do I. It's nice. I like it. It's very expensive, and
You're welcome.
and you can buy 2 SIGs for the price of this. I don't regret it.
No.
Not at all. I've yet to shoot it because I bought it. Basically, came right over here. Well, picked it up and it came over here. So we get some footage of this here sometime.
I haven't shot the Legion either.
What? You've had that thing for like 3 months.
No, I had it for like 3 weeks.
There's
Well,
no
if you
way.
ever came out to shooting days,
My signal isn't
At the
working.
man in the comments, yes, Crossfire did get that gun from me. Not specifically from me, but he got that idea of getting that gun
I
because
did.
of me.
I did, and I
got
like
an MR920
it. War Poet.
War Poet.
Yep.
Thank you, War Poet Society.
I got a bunch of T-Rex stuff that's supposed to be here, but is lost. So thank
And it wasn't lost.
Shout out to USPS.
The USPS for that one.
They lose all kinds of stuff of mine.
In a world where everyone's going Glock,
Well, the
two
whole world-
men
Two men
stand with
stay
Sig.
with Sig.
The whole point why I went with the Shadow Systems is because I'm not a fan of actual Glock.
So you want to go Gucci Glock?
I even said that when I was picking up. I said, it's a Gucci Glock, and the guy's like, yeah, it is. But
I'm sorry, I'm staying with Sig.
I have my SIG still.
I'm more interested in getting a high-end AR. And ideally,
Gale
or
defense.
not even high-end, just one that's super reliable and long-lasting. Like, I really want to get...
MCX Virtus.
No.
Oh, that's what I'm going for.
I want to get something in 300 Blackout.
God,
With a big can.
God.
I'm thinking of
Cock Riders.
what am I
Almost
going
there.
to use most of the time? There's 2 things I'm going to use. I'm going to use an AR pistol, and I'm going to use a rifle, ideally in 5.56, for like one with a longer barrel that isn't a 10.5.
I want a pistol chambered in 5.56.
So, I mean, I did at one point have a 16-inch AR. I don't want a 16-inch AR though. I want a 14.5-inch AR because I still want to, like, if I have to use it in a scenario, and 14.5 is basically what the M4 carbine is.
Hang
the
on.
length.
Does that include with or without suppressor?
That's without.
That's
suppressor.
just
That's
a
without
barrel.
suppressor. I just want the barrel length to be 14.5.
Okay. All right.
That is your standard military.
That's standard. That's a M4 barrel length.
Well, there you go.
And with the right ammunition, it's just as effective as like a 20-inch, which is what the 5.56 is designed to shoot, or 18-inch is what the 5.56 is designed to be shot out of. But yeah, so new guns we're working out. I implore I implore everyone to if they have the time to work out, because quite honestly I feel
You don't want to be fat.
I don't want to be fat, and not only that, but it's improved my mood. It's improved my overall physical like well-being and health. I'm not like struggling to carry stuff and sometimes and whatever. I just overall feel better.
My mental state.
There are a lot of positives besides physique for working out.
Yeah.
So
the one that you notice first is your mental state.
yes, absolutely.
And especially if you pair that with eating correctly and eating regularly, then you'll find that you're tired less. You'll find that you go to sleep quicker. You'll find that you wake up less tired.
You get a better sleep. You get a deeper sleep.
And it's honestly benefited me quite a lot. And I've been going now. This is my 4th week, and I've seen serious gains.
And
in
hey,
that time.
Actual gains.
if you aren't really sure where to start when it comes to working out, we actually do have an episode on physical fitness. You should check it out.
Episode 24, I think.
If you're correct, right off the top of your head, that's Godspeed.
There's some clippity clap golf clap for you.
Well,
And the last cool thing that I'm doing, and some other people in our friend group are doing, is this coming Saturday I will be skydiving for the 2nd time.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty dope.
Yeah, there's nothing better than, oh my God, you were right. It is episode 24.
Yep.
Nothing better than jumping out of a perfectly good airplane.
Personally, I'm an adrenaline junkie, and that's the peak of adrenaline right there.
Dude,
Next time you guys do it, let me know.
The only other thing that matches it in terms of adrenaline high is probably like actual combat.
We could probably book for the time slot right after them. Like they still have some openings.
How much is it?
Like 250.
It's expensive,
Yeah.
but it's
You gotta pay for all that fuel.
it's a good 5 minutes. Free fall for like
It's about 10 minutes. You free fall for it's like
a minute.
yeah, it's
Not even
about
a
a
minute. Is it
minute
a
of
minute?
free. It's a minute of free fall, and then you glide the rest of the way down.
It's like they drop you at 14,000 feet about,
Yeah.
and then you're attached to someone because I'm not licensed to be a
you're
solo
tandem.
diver.
Fun fact: you need to have 25 recorded tandem jumps, which means you are strapped to somebody who's doing all the damn work.
You also have to go through the classes. And
Yes,
stuff.
and the classes.
And it costs like $2,000 total to do.
Yep.
And I'm probably gonna do it.
Just the tandem jumps alone's almost $7,000.
Yeah, but once you actually get your license, skydiving becomes $25.
Yep.
Oh.
Well, that's actually assuming you also have your own gear too.
Yes. Now the gear is a couple grand. Like a parachute's a couple grand.
Just remember, you have to pack your own chute. So
That too.
if you fuck it up,
You got a long time to wave goodbye.
You'd have the rest of your life to figure out how to fix it.
Well, that's what that's what your reserve chute. I was actually looking at how much a thing was.
they're expensive.
You can get cheap ones, although I probably wouldn't.
That's-
Why would you
Let's
get a cheap
one.
out on it?
I wonder, can we get a skydiving suit on Amazon?
Not a suit of like the actual parachute.
Amazon.
Dude, I want to get one of those squirrel suits and
Oh, when we went
Batman.
for your first time, there was a girl that was in a squirrel suit.
Really?
Yeah, don't you remember?
No.
Oh, well. Oh, that's probably because we jumped first. They jumped out after us.
I want to
Never
be
mind.
Batman and just zinger.
But
That thing was so cool.
it's definitely a good time. I definitely recommend it to anyone that is thinking about it, and do it while everyone does it whenever they're older, but I think you should do it when you're young and just be a badass at all times.
So to kind of like cover skydiving, if you're like ever on the fence to do it, it's kind of like on everyone's bucket list, low key, I think. But honestly, here's something for you to think about. It is actually you're statistically more likely to get struck by lightning than to die in a tandem skydiving accident.
So the person that that organized all this skydiving stuff was struck by lightning. Did you know that?
Yeah, you told me about this. And so,
Happens to the best of us.
Well, that just
What if you're skydiving and get struck by lightning at the same time?
I wonder if that's ever happened. I mean, considering you can't fly a plane whenever.
Well, you can. It's just not recommended.
Well, I mean, you can't. You
Some
can
are
do whatever you want.
some are rated
technically.
for it.
This is lightning rated. My
But
plane is
lightning, real lightning.
But I think the statistic is it's like 1 out of every 2.5 million tandem jumps. There's one death.
Oh, just one person
So you're
dies.
saying there's a chance?
I mean, there's a chance of you dying every single day. So
You're right. And that
3,700
not live
people
it?
die a month for car accidents.
Yeah. You're more likely to die in a car accident. That's for sure.
yeah, you are.
You know.
But hey, I mean, it's a good time. Recommend it. I would. I don't know if you want to consider that training.
I
I do.
Possibly.
I do. I consider it training.
Possibly.
Yeah, if you're an adrenaline junkie, you like amusement parks, this will top
This
the
will
amusement
top any
park.
roller coaster you've ever been on, and we've been to Cedar Point, or I've been to Cedar Point. I don't know about you.
No, I'm
I have.
poor.
We got into Cedar Point for free once.
How?
We were walking in, and some random lady was like, "Hey, we have extra tickets," and she gave it to us.
Wow.
there you go.
It was very nice. It was right before I joined the army.
Thank you for your gift.
Thank you for your gift.
Yeah, but I mean that's
I think that's.
I think that's about all I had to talk about.
Yeah.
An hour and 22. We put this out for a lot longer than I thought we would for Real Talk.
No, this is.
That was relatively short, I think.
For
Yeah.
real talk, yeah, I think we went pretty good without having guests on.
I mean, I can. The sky's the limit.
I mean,
can
we
talk
can
about
continue
anything.
talking, but I think now is a good time to end.
The talk that was very real.
It was very real. If you guys enjoyed what you heard during this episode, please hit the like button. Consider JDamming the subscribe button. If you don't know what a JDam is, it's a very large missile.
Yep.
You can consider doing that. Please check us out on our other social media platforms. You can find us on Instagram at WeValiantFew. You can find us on most podcast platforms. Just search up WeValiantFew. You can check us out on our website whenever it is not under construction, which it currently is right now. And yeah,
Communicate
share
with
share
us.
the video. Let us know in the comments how we did and all that.
Or gilded.
Oh, yes, Gilded. If you want to interact with us personally, you can find us at gilded.gg/WVF.
And for those of you that don't know what Gilded is, it's basically,
It's like a community
Competitor.
building platform.
yeah, it's a competitor to Discord, if you want to call it that.
We may. I know we've done this a bunch of times. I personally want to kind of switch back to Discord
Yeah, I'm kind of
for the community building aspect
Yeah, a
because
lot of
more
people
people use Discord or more people are familiar with Discord rather than Gilded. Gilded has some useful tools for content creators, which is nice.
We'll probably end up, I would say we should probably keep Gilded for
Oh, yeah.
our personal use.
Yeah, there's a lot of features on it.
For
The reason why we
community,
wanted to switch over from Gilded or to Discord to Gilded was because of the Microsoft acquisition, and I think they realized how bad that PR was, and they backed away from that.
Yep.
So we don't have to really worry about that anymore.
But with that,
We'll update that for sure. Where we decide to do.
Yeah, we'll keep you guys posted.
Yep.
well, the quickest way to get information from us, at least me personally, because if you send like a question or a comment to the Instagram, I will usually answer it relatively quickly. That's where we post like our pictures and stuff, so check us out there. But other than that, and as long as no one else has anything else, I think that's where we will be signing off.
I'm good with it.
Everyone good? Everyone
Yeet.
very
Yeah,
good?
stay vigilant, guys and gals.
Yes.
All right, we'll catch you next time.